The night was quiet in the small valley where Ravi lived. His home was far from the city. Built on the edge of the forest, he liked the peace, the sound of trees moving in the wind, and the stars above his roof. Ravi was a young mechanic. He fixed broken machines and old farm tools. Most people in town knew him for being helpful and kind. That evening, clouds covered the sky, and the wind turned strong. A storm was coming. Ravi closed the metal door of his workshop and checked the lights. As he walked back toward his house, a loud noise broke the silence. It was not thunder. It was something else, something falling from the sky. Boom. The ground shook. Ravi turned quickly. A bright flash lit the sky in the direction of the hills. Then it went dark again. His heart beat faster. That sound did not belong to nature. It was something heavy, maybe a ship. Ravi grabbed his jacket, picked up a flashlight, and started walking through the rain. The forest was wet and slippery, but he moved quickly. He followed the faint smell of smoke in the air. After some time, he saw a metal broken between the trees, steam rising, lights blinking softly. A small silver ship had crashed there. It was shaped like a smooth stone, with one side torn open. Ravi looked around. No one else was there. The rain washed away the smoke slowly. He walked closer, carefully, unsure if it was safe. Inside the ship, he saw someone lying still. A girl. She was not human. Her skin was a soft green. Her hair was silver like the moonlight. Her eyes were closed, and her hands rested on her stomach. Her face looked calm, like she was sleeping, even though part of the ship was broken around her. She looked young and had a soft, natural beauty, peaceful even in the middle of the crash. Ravi's first thought was to run for help, but the storm was strong. No one from the town would believe him if he said he found an alien, and if he brought the officials, they might take her away. He stepped into the ship and knelt beside her. "Hey," he said gently, "can you hear me?" Her eyes opened slowly, silver eyes. She looked at him without fear, but her voice was weak. "Help, please," she whispered. Ravi helped her sit up slowly. She winced in pain, holding her side. A small device on her wrist blinked red. Maybe it was an injury alarm. He didn't understand alien machines, but he understood people in pain. "I'll take you somewhere safe," he said. "Can you walk?" She nodded slowly. Ravi wrapped her arm around his shoulder and helped her out of the ship. The rain kept falling, but they moved slowly, step by step. It took time, but finally, he brought her into his workshop. He laid a thick blanket on the bench and helped her lie down. She looked around the small room filled with tools, old engines, and blueprints. "You are not afraid of me," she said in a low voice. "I'm more afraid of people finding out you're here," Ravi replied. She smiled faintly. "My name is Ilna. I'm Ravi," he said. "You crashed hard. What happened?" "Engine broke," Ilna whispered. "I was too far from my home. I didn't plan to land here." Ravi nodded. "You're lucky I found you. Rest for now. We'll talk later." He brought her some clean water and covered her with another blanket. Ilna drank slowly and closed her eyes again. The soft sound of rain outside filled the room. That night, Ravi could not sleep. He sat near the window, looking out at the dark trees. A visitor from the stars was resting in his workshop. He had no idea what the coming days would bring. In the morning, Ravi checked on Ilna. She was awake and sitting up. Her skin looked brighter, her eyes more alert. "Thank you," she said. He gave her some warm food, simple bread and soup. She looked at it with confusion at first, then tried it slowly. "Not bad," she said. They both laughed quietly. Over the next few days, Ilna stayed hidden in the workshop. Ravi brought tools and helped her look at the broken parts of her ship. She understood some earth tools, but not all. Together, they started fixing small things, lights, panels, wires. They didn't always speak much, but when they did, the words felt real. Ravi learned that Ilna came from a peaceful star system called Zyrene. Her people believed in travel, learning, and peace, but they rarely made contact with humans. She was exploring space alone when her ship failed. "I didn't mean to fall here," she said. "But now that I did, I'm glad you were the one who found me. Ravi felt a small warmth in his heart. He smiled. Me too. As days passed, their bond grew. They shared stories. Ravi talked about his childhood, about machines, and how he loved the sky. Ilna told him about floating cities, crystal lakes, and quiet songs sung under twin moons. Sometimes they just sat outside the workshop, watching the stars return. Ilna would look up and whisper names of stars Ravi never heard of. She looked at Earth like it was beautiful and strange, and Ravi, in turn, looked at her with the same quiet wonder. But deep inside, both of them knew something bigger was coming. Ilna could not stay hidden forever, and Ravi could not ignore the strange feeling that had begun to grow every time he saw her smile. Something was changing, and it all started with a crash in the night. Days passed quietly in Ravi's small workshop. Ilna rested, repaired, and recovered. She spent her mornings watching birds through the dusty windows and her evenings learning how to use earth tools. Ravi gave her space, but every time he brought her food or explained a machine part, she looked at him with calm eyes full of trust. Ravi had never seen anyone like her, not just because of her light green skin or silver eyes, but because of how peaceful she was. She spoke slowly, moved gently, and listened carefully. Even the way she touched broken parts of her ship showed respect, like she believed every small thing had a purpose. One morning, while Ravi was fixing a broken tractor engine outside, Ilna stepped out of the workshop. She had wrapped herself in an old gray cloak he had found for her. Her face was half covered, but her eyes were bright. The air here smells different, she said. Ravi looked up from his work. Better or worse? She smiled. Alive. He laughed. That's a good answer. They sat together on a wooden bench near the garden. The sky was clear, and soft clouds moved above them. Birds chirped, and the wind touched the tall grass like quiet music. Ilna closed her eyes and breathed deeply. I did not know Earth was like this, she said. Our maps only show city zones and danger zones. This place is too small for the maps, Ravi replied. People forget about it. Then I'm lucky, she whispered. They didn't talk for a while. The silence between them felt safe, not heavy. Ilna watched the clouds. Ravi watched her. He finally asked, Why did you come alone through space? Ilna turned to him. Because I wanted to see. My people always move in groups, but I wanted to feel the stars myself. I wanted to know how it feels to be far away and still carry your home inside you. Ravi thought about her words. He had never left Earth. The farthest he had gone was the city for parts. Yet he understood what she meant. Were you scared? He asked. Before, she replied, yes, but now, less. Ravi stood and picked up a small metal device. Let's go back inside. I want to show you something. Inside the workshop, he placed the device on the table. This was my first invention, he said, a wind sensor. I made it when I was 12. It doesn't do much, but it tells wind direction with a small light. It still works. Ilna touched it gently. You made this with earth tools? Yes, he said. No one taught me. I just like building things. You build with heart, she said softly. Those words stayed with him. That night, after Ilna had gone to rest, Ravi sat alone and looked through his old journals. He had drawings of machines, notes about flying devices, and small dreams written in the corners. He wondered what it meant to build with heart. Maybe it meant building for someone else, not just for yourself. The next morning, he found Ilna looking at his old telescope. You like stars? He asked. Yes, she said. I know many of them. He nodded. I used to think I would visit them someday. You still can, she replied. He smiled but didn't answer. Ilna looked at the telescope again. Then she spoke in a quiet voice. Ravi, may I ask you something personal? Sure, he said. Do you live here alone? Yes. My parents moved to the city years ago. I stayed. I like it here. It's calm. She looked around. Do you ever feel lonely? Ravi paused. Sometimes. But then I build something or fix something. That helps. Ilna nodded. In my world, we don't live alone. We are always in groups, but I chose to travel by myself. Now I understand what loneliness feels like. You're not alone now, Ravi said. She looked at him, and something changed in her eyes. A soft warmth, a small light. Later that day, they worked together on her ship. It was still deep in the forest, hidden from the sky. She showed him the control panel, and he helped fix the broken wires. Some parts were strange to him, but together, they found a way to make the power cord glow again. You learn fast, she said. You explain well, he replied. They laughed at sunset. They walked back to the workshop. The wind was stronger now, and the air smelled of rain again. Inside, Ravi gave Ilna a small notebook. For your own maps, he said. So you can draw the parts of Earth the stars don't show. She looked at the empty pages and smiled. Thank you. She spent the night writing and drawing. Ravi watched her from the doorway. The way she held the pen, the way her silver hair caught the warm light of the lamp pit felt like something rare was happening, something quiet and powerful. The next morning, something changed. Ilna woke up feeling weak. She sat up slowly, holding her head. Her skin looked pale, and her hands trembled. Are you all right? Ravi asked, rushing to her side. I don't know, she whispered. He helped her sit and brought her water. But her eyes showed worry. There is something strange, she said. Ravi didn't wait. He guided her to an old scanner hidden under the workshop floor. It was a leftover from old times when Earth settlers scanned unknown items from space. It still worked. Ilna stood inside the scanner. The machine blinked and hummed. Then it made a soft sound and showed the results. Ravi read the screen slowly. His hands froze. He looked at Ilna. She looked at him, waiting. Ilna, he said carefully, the scanner says, you're pregnant. She didn't speak. Her silver eyes widened. Her hand moved slowly to her stomach. Then she looked at Ravi, and her voice was barely a whisper. Please, marry me. Ravi felt the world turn quiet. His heart raced. What? She stepped forward and took his hand. I'm pregnant with your baby, she said. I need your help. Ravi could not speak for a moment. The words Ilna had said were still moving through his mind. She stood in front of him, her soft green skin glowing faintly in the light of the workshop, her silver eyes full of worry. I'm pregnant with your baby, she had said. And now she added quietly, please marry me. Ravi took a step back, his voice uncertain. But we never, Ilna nodded. I know what you mean. In your world, things happen differently. But in my world, when two minds connect deeply, when emotions grow strong and honest, it can cause something rare to happen. A life can begin. Ravi looked at the scanner screen again. It was not lying. The signs were clear. Her body was slowly changing. Inside her, a new life had started, a mix of her people and his. How is this even possible? Ravi asked. Ilna sat down on the wooden bench beside the worktable. She looked tired, but calm. My people are different. She explained, we don't always need physical contact to pass life energy. When trust and closeness reach a high point, the bond becomes strong. Our minds and bodies respond. We are taught to protect those bonds and the new life that may come from them. Ravi sat beside her. He still didn't fully understand, but he could see that she believed every word. I never thought anything like this would happen, he said. I was only trying to help. I know. Ilna said, that's why it happened, because you cared without wanting anything back. There was silence for a while. The rain had started again outside. The drops tapped softly on the tin roof. Ravi looked at her hands. They were small and delicate, resting on her lap. I'm not angry, he said, just surprised. Ilna nodded. I didn't plan this, but now I must protect this life. I cannot return to my people alone. If I do, they may not accept the child. They may say it is not one of us. She paused, then looked at him again. But if you stand beside me, if we are joined by your customs, they may understand. That is why I ask you to marry me. Ravi rubbed his face and stood up. He walked to the other side of the room. His mind was full of thoughts. This was more than he could handle in a day. Ilna, he said, turning around. I need time to think. Of course, she replied softly. That night, Ravi could not sleep. He sat outside the workshop, under the metal roof, listening to the rain. The stars were hidden behind thick clouds. The world felt heavy, but not in a bad way, just serious. He thought about Elna, how she had come from the sky, how she had brought nothing but peace, and how she had changed his quiet life without meaning to. He also thought about the child, his child, a life that didn't ask to be born, but was now growing because of something honest and kind. Ravi remembered the way Elna had looked at him when she said, "Please marry me." It was not out of fear. It was a request filled with hope. The next morning, Ravi went into town. He didn't tell Elna. He said he was going for parts. She nodded without asking more. In town, he met an old friend named Imran, who owned a small repair shop. Ravi, Imran said, surprised, "You haven't come here in weeks." "Everything okay?" "Yes," Ravi replied. "Just needed some time alone." They spoke for a while about tools, machines, and the weather, but Ravi's mind was elsewhere. Before leaving, Ravi asked, "Do you think someone like me could ever be a father?" Imran looked at him with curiosity. "Why do you ask?" "Just wondering," Ravi said. Imran and smiled. "You're patient. You care about others, and you build things with care. That sounds like a good start." Ravi thanked him and left. On his way home, he stopped near the old lake where he used to go as a child. He sat under the large tree and looked at the still water. The reflection of the sky floated on the surface. Everything felt quiet again. He spoke out loud, though no one was near. "I never thought my life would go this way," he said. "But maybe that's not a bad thing." When he returned to the workshop, Elna was sitting near the window, holding the small notebook he had given her. She looked up when he entered, her face unreadable. "I thought you might not return," she said softly. "I needed to think," Ravi said. "This is all new to me." She nodded. "I understand." He sat down beside her. "I'm not sure what kind of future we'll have," he said, "but I won't walk away. I'll help you. I'll stay." Elna looked at him, her eyes full of gentle surprise. "I may not know all your customs," Ravi continued, "but if marriage means standing together, then yes, I will marry you." A soft breath escaped her lips, and she placed her hand over him. No words were spoken for a long time. The next few days moved quietly, but with purpose. Elna and Ravi worked on preparing her ship again, just in case her people came searching. They also started planning their life, unsure of the future, but clear about their choice. Elna's energy slowly returned. She smiled more, walked more, and even began planting seeds outside the workshop. Ravi watched her often. Something inside him had changed, not because he was forced, but because he wanted to be part of something greater than himself. One evening, Elna gave him a small star-shaped charm made of silver metal from her ship. "This is a symbol of promise on my world," she said. "We give it to those we trust with our future." Ravi held it tightly. "Then I will keep it safe." They stood together as the sun set, warm light spreading across the valley. The sky was quiet, but the air was full of meaning. A strange discovery had brought them together. Now, they would face what came next. Ravi's life had always been quiet. Before Elna arrived, his days were simple: fixing machines, planting in the small garden, walking by the forest. But now, everything felt different. Every morning he woke up and looked toward the workshop, wondering if Elna had slept well. Every evening, he listened to her voice as she explained the stars she once visited. He had made a choice to stay with her, to protect the life growing inside her. But the days ahead were not going to be easy. Elna's ship was still half broken. Its power source was repaired, but the outer layer was weak. It could not fly far, and it still gave off small signals. Ravi had been covering the ship with old metal sheets and forest vines to hide it, but he knew it would not stay hidden forever. One morning, Elna sat on a wooden chair under the large tree behind the house. She was looking at the sky, her hands gently resting on her stomach. Ravi joined her, bringing a small cup of warm tea. "Do you miss your world?" he asked. Elna smiled gently. Sometimes, I miss the singing lakes, the sky gardens, the way our people light lanterns when a new child is born. She looked down for a moment. But I do not miss the rules. I do not miss how quickly they judge those who are different. Ravi nodded. Do you think they'll accept this child? I don't know, she said. Maybe not. But if I return alone, they may never even give me the chance to speak. Ravi looked out over the valley. The sky was clear, but he felt a storm building inside him. He had always avoided trouble, stayed away from loud cities and heavy questions. But now, life was asking him to stand tall. Do you still want to return to them? He asked. I don't want to run, Alna said softly. I want to tell them the truth, that this child is not a mistake, that it is a gift, but I cannot go without you. You are part of this story now. Ravi understood. If he went with her, he might be seen as something strange, maybe even as a threat. But if he didn't go, Alna might lose everything. He stood up and walked to the edge of the hill. The forest stretched out before him, green and calm. He remembered how he used to think it was enough to live quietly, to stay away from the noise. But now, his world was no longer small. He turned back to her. Then I will go with you. I don't know what your people will say, but if they listen, even a little, then it's worth it. Ilna stood and walked toward him. She placed her hand in his. Thank you. I don't feel afraid when you are near. That evening, they started working harder on the ship. Ravi brought out old wires, replaced broken supports, and adjusted the signal receiver. Ilna worked beside him, her soft voice giving clear directions. As they worked, Ravi noticed something strange on the screen. A light blinking red. Ilna, he said, what does this mean? She stepped closer, her expression turning serious. It means someone has received the ship's signal. Someone is nearby. Ravi looked around. The valley was still, the trees untouched, but something had changed. We need to be ready, she said. They might come tomorrow, or the day after. Will they come to talk, or to take you? I don't know, she replied. But we must not run. That will only make them fear more. Ravi nodded. That night, he did not sleep. He sat by the small fire outside the house, watching the stars. He thought about his father, who had once told him, bravery is not loud. It is choosing to do the right thing, even when your voice shakes. In the early morning, Ilna came outside and sat beside him. I couldn't sleep either, she said. They watched the sky together. The stars were fading into morning light. What if they tried to take you away? Ravi asked. Then you must speak for me, she said. You must tell them what they do not understand. He nodded. He had never spoken in front of strangers, let alone aliens from another world. But for Ilna and for their child, he would. The next day, they prepared a simple message on the ship's system. Ilna recorded a message in her language, explaining that she was safe, not captured, and had chosen this path herself. Ravi helped her send it. Then they waited. In the afternoon, they saw a light in the sky. A small ship, quiet and smooth, appeared above the valley. It circled once, then slowly landed in the clearing near Ilna's damaged craft. Ravi stood beside Ilna. She took his hand and held it tightly. 3 tall figures stepped out of the ship. They had pale blue skin, long robes, and sharp eyes. They walked without fear, stopping a few steps away. One of them, a woman with silver bands on her arms, stepped forward. Ilna of Zyrene, she said. You were lost. We came to bring you home. I was not lost, Ilna said clearly. I chose to be here. The woman looked at Ravi. This is the human? Yes, Ilna said. His name is Ravi. He saved me. He respected me. And now, he stands beside me. The second figure, a tall male, stepped forward. Is it true you carry a child? Ilna nodded. Yes. A child of both our kinds. There was silence. The third figure, who had not spoken, looked at Ravi with unreadable eyes. Then he said, We did not know this was possible. It was not planned, Ilna said. But it is real, and it must be respected. The first woman looked again at Ravi. And you? Will you take responsibility? Ravi's voice was steady, even as his heart pounded. Yes, I will protect both of them. I did not plan this either. But I will not walk away. The visitors looked at each other. Then the lead figure said, "We must report this to the council. But we will not force you to return." Elna took a deep breath. "Then I ask you to let us speak to the council ourselves. Let them see us, hear us, and decide fairly." The leader nodded slowly. "Prepare your ship. We will return in 3 days. If you still wish to come, we will guide you." As their ship rose into the sky and disappeared, Ravi turned to Elna. "You were brave," he said. "So were you?" She replied, 3 days. That was all the time they had to prepare for what could change everything. But they had already made the hardest choice. They had chosen each other. The 3 days passed slowly. Every moment felt heavy with waiting. Ravi and Elna spent their time preparing the workshop and the small clearing where the visitors had landed. They cleaned and fixed the ship as best as they could. Ravi repaired broken panels, and Elna programmed the communication device to show their message clearly. Ravi looked at Elna one evening. She was resting in the soft light, her hands gently on her stomach. She looked calm, but he knew inside she was worried. They both were. "It is strange," Elna said quietly. "I never thought I would face my people like this." "Not like this," Ravi nodded. "But you are not alone anymore." Elna smiled softly. "Thanks to you." On the morning of the 4th day, the sky was clear and blue. Birds sang in the trees, but the air felt tense suddenly in the distance. They heard the quiet hum of engines. A large ship appeared above the valley. It was different from the small vessel that had come before. This one was bigger, shining silver and blue under the sun. It slowly descended and landed near the clearing. Ravi felt his heart beat faster. He looked at Elna, who stood tall, her silver eyes steady. The hatch opened, and a group of figures stepped out. They wore uniforms with symbols Ravi had never seen. They moved with purpose and confidence. The leader, a tall woman with dark blue skin and sharp eyes, stepped forward. Her voice was calm but firm. "Elna of Zyrene," she said, "you have returned with a human. This is a serious matter." Elna held her head high. "I have not returned yet. I asked to speak with the council. I'm not a prisoner." The leader nodded slowly. "Then come with us. You will speak with the council soon." Ravi stepped forward. "I will come with her." The leader looked at him with surprise. "You, human?" "Yes," Ravi said. "I am part of this now." The visitors exchanged glances, but did not refuse. They escorted Elna and Ravi into the ship. Inside, the walls glowed softly, and strange symbols moved on the screens. Ravi held Elna's hand tightly. She smiled at him, and he felt strengthened. Her touch. They were taken to a large room where a group of elders waited. The council. The room was round, with high ceilings and light coming from the walls. One of the elders, an old man with gentle eyes, spoke first. "Elna, you have surprised us. Traveling alone and carrying a child with a human is not common among our people." Elna bowed her head slightly. "I understand, but this child is a gift, not a mistake." Ravi stepped forward. His voice was calm but strong. "I saved Elna when her ship crashed. I helped her. And now, I will protect this child." The elders listened carefully. Another elder, a woman with silver hair, spoke next. "This is new to us, a human and an alien child. What will become of such a life?" Elna looked at Ravi and then back at the council. "It will be strong. It will be proof that different worlds can come together, that peace is possible." The room was silent. No one spoke for a moment. Then the leader of the council stood. "We must consider this carefully. It will change many things. But we will not harm you or the child. We will watch, and we will listen." Elna bowed again. "Thank you." Ravi looked around the room and spoke softly. "I do not know your customs, but I know this. Every life is precious, and every choice matters." The council nodded. The elders began to discuss quietly among themselves. Ravi and Elna waited patiently. After some time, the leader spoke again. "You will be allowed to live here, under watch. You may stay with us, but you must also prepare for the future. Elna looked at Ravi. We will face this together. The visitors led them back to the ship's entrance. Outside, the sun was setting, casting orange light across the valley. Ravi and Elna walked down the ramp hand in hand. Their hearts were full of hope and fear. Back in the workshop, Ravi sat by the window. He looked at the stars, thinking about what had just happened. Elna joined him and placed a soft hand on his shoulder. We have a new path, she said. He nodded. Yes, and we will walk it together. That night, they talked about their future. They spoke of their child, the challenges ahead, and the hope they held. Elna smiled and whispered, no matter what comes, we have each other. Ravi smiled back, and that is enough to start. The night was calm. Outside, the stars shone quietly. A new story had begun. The days after the council meeting were filled with quiet moments and small steps forward. Ravi and Elna found themselves living between two worlds, learning how to balance the customs of the alien visitors and the simple life they had built. In the valley, Ravi spent his mornings working on the ship and helping Elna. He fixed machines and learned new names for things he had never seen. Elna taught him about her world, telling stories about crystal lakes and floating gardens. Ravi listened with wide eyes, amazed by her peaceful home. At the same time, the alien visitors watched closely. They did not interfere much, but made their presence known. Sometimes, a tall figure with soft blue skin would visit the workshop, offering advice or asking questions about the child that was growing inside Elna. The child was a symbol of hope, but also a mystery. The council wanted to understand more about this new life, how it would affect both species, and what the future might hold. One afternoon, Ravi and Elna sat beneath the big tree behind the house. The sun was warm, and a gentle breeze moved the leaves. Elna, Ravi said softly, do you feel ready for what is coming? She looked at him, her silver eyes calm. I am ready because you are here. He smiled and took her hand. I am learning every day. This is new for me, but I want to be strong for you and the child. Elna leaned her head on his shoulder. We are stronger together. As the weeks passed, the bond between them grew deeper. It was not just about the child or the future, it was about trust and understanding. They shared laughter, quiet moments, and dreams. One evening, a small gathering was held near the clearing. Some of the alien visitors came to meet Ravi. They wanted to know the human who stood by Elna. Ravi felt nervous, but greeted each one with respect. They asked about Earth, about his life, and about his feelings for Elna. He spoke honestly. I did not expect this, but now I cannot imagine being without her. We are different, but we have found a way to understand. The visitors nodded. One elder, with a gentle smile, said, perhaps this is how peace grows through the heart, not through war. Elna looked at Ravi with gratitude. Their connection was no longer just theirs, it was a bridge between two worlds. That night, Ravi and Elna sat outside under the stars. The air was cool and fresh. They spoke about the future of their child, the life they wanted to build, and the hope they carried. Elna held Ravi's hand tightly. Our child will have the sky of my world and the soil of yours, she said. Ravi smiled, and a heart that belongs to both. As the days turned to weeks, Elna's belly grew round and full of life. Ravi helped her with everything. He built a small cradle from wood and painted it with symbols of both Earth and Zyrene. Sometimes, Ravi wondered what the child would look like. Would they have green skin like Elna or brown eyes like him? Would they speak Earth's language or the songs of Zyrene? One morning, as the sun rose, Elna woke with a smile. She reached for Ravi's hand. I feel the child moving, she said softly. A new life inside me. Ravi looked at her with awe. A miracle. They spent the day preparing, gathering soft cloth and food. They talked about names and stories. To tell their child, even with the unknown ahead, they felt ready. The bond between them was no longer just love. It was hope. It was the promise of a new beginning. The morning sun shone softly through the window of the small workshop. Elna lay resting, her hand gently touching her belly. Ravi sat nearby, watching her with quiet care. The day they had waited for was coming soon, the birth of their child. The weeks had passed with many changes. The valley around them was full of new life. Flowers bloomed near the garden. Birds sang songs that seemed to welcome the future. Even the visitors from Zyrene came often, bringing gifts and quiet smiles. But the moment was still full of nervous hope. No one knew what to expect when the child was born. Would it be strong? Would it bring peace? Would it change everything? Ravi held Ilna's hand as she took a deep breath. "It is time," she said softly. He helped her stand, supporting her carefully. They moved slowly toward the soft bed they had prepared near the fire. The air was warm, filled with the smell of fresh herbs and clean cloth outside. The valley was calm. The stars faded with the morning light. A new day was beginning. Ilna closed her eyes and breathed deeply. Ravi sat beside her, whispering words of comfort. He had never been so close to something so important, so delicate. Minutes passed like hours. The pain was strong, but Ilna was brave. She held onto Ravi's hand tightly. He whispered, "You are strong. We will face this together." The visitors waited quietly in another room, the elders, the leaders, all hoping for good news. Suddenly, a soft cry filled the air. A small life had arrived. Ravi's eyes filled with tears. He looked at Ilna, who smiled weakly but happily. "It is here," she said. A visitor entered, holding a small bundle wrapped in soft cloth. The child was perfect. Small hands, shining silver eyes like Ilna's, and a gentle glow that seemed to come from inside. Ravi reached out and touched the child's tiny hand. The warmth spread through him like sunshine. Ilna looked at her baby and whispered, "You are the promise of two worlds." The visitors smiled. The elders nodded slowly. This child was not just a child. It was a symbol of hope and new beginnings. Days passed, and the valley seemed to change. The story of the child spread quietly among the people of Zyrene. Some were curious, some were unsure, but all listened. Ilna and Ravi cared for their baby with love and patience. They named the child Naran, which meant light in Ilna's language. Naran grew quickly, learning to laugh and look at the stars. Ravi taught him about earth, the trees, the sky, the simple joy of quiet days. Ilna told him stories of floating cities and distant moons. The bond between them grew stronger every day. Naran was not just a child of two worlds, but a bridge between them. One evening, as the sun set in soft colors, the council gathered again. This time, they spoke with kindness and hope. "This child is a new beginning," the leader said, "a chance to build peace and understanding." Ilna and Ravi stood together, their hearts full. Ravi looked at Ilna and smiled. "We did not know what the future held, but now we have found it." Ilna nodded. "Together, we are stronger." The visitors prepared to leave the valley, but the bond they shared with Ravi and Ilna remained. They promised to return and help build a better world. As night fell, Ravi, Ilna, and Naran sat outside the workshop. The stars twinkled above like quiet watchers. Ravi held his family close. The small light in his arms was more than a child, it was hope, love. In the future, together, they looked at the sky, knowing that no matter what came next, they had each other, and that was enough.